David Menzies for Rebel News here in Woodbridge, Ontario. Well, folks, I'm standing outside the Best Buy store here, and I'm hoping to ask people what they think about the idea of getting a low-cost box that would entitle them to receive free TV and movie programming. Of course, the hitch is that these boxes that are made in China come loaded typically with spyware and malware. Often it's impossible to rid your computer of this malevolent software. And it's a follow-up to our report that we did a few weeks ago. In case you don't remember, here's a clip of a private detective going into some of the stores that sell these devices to get the lowdown. Check it out.
People saying that they can get their free movies and TV shows and sports networks and all that kind of stuff free. They're going to be getting it off of this.
Do you have these Android boxes?
We do.
We do sell Android TV boxes here at London Drugs.
Do you want to pay for it? Do you want to try to get it for free?
You get free content.
The Kodi app is where you get all your freebies from.
This has something called Kodi built into it.
Kodi is kind of how you get the free live TV.
Kodi gets you access to free stuff.
The people who are hosting those streams are robbing the bank. You're just watching them rob the bank.
It's not always legal.
Essentially, you're finding methods in ways of stealing the content.
It's not illegal, it's just not perfectly legal.
You know, you can't get arrested for it.
They can get a software on there which allows you to watch free movies, TV shows.
So it seemed to be that for stores such as Best Buy, London Drugs, Staples, and Canada Computers, there is an acknowledgement that this isn't exactly on the level to have these boxes and take in this content. Of course, they never talk about the potential malware and spyware that a consumer can end up with. And that is indeed part of a lawsuit that has been launched by the owners of Super Channel against those four main retailers. It's going to be heard in July at Alberta Court of Queen's Bench. In the meantime, I'm just going to ask shoppers here to this Best Buy if they would indeed want to buy such boxes on the proviso that, well, it means also having malware and spyware infecting your system as well. Let's see what they have to say, folks. I'm just asking people here today, sir, if you could pay a couple $100s to get a box that would bring in almost unlimited free TV and movie content to your TV, would you buy such a device?
I would.
Okay. Now, what if I told you by buying such a device, and they actually sell them here at Best Buy, it would also mean that you would be infecting your computer with made in China malware and spyware that is almost impossible to get rid of? Would you still buy that device?
No.
If you had the opportunity to buy a device for a couple $100s that would give you unlimited access to free TV and movies, would you buy that device?
Probably, yeah, depending on what it is.
Okay. Now, what if I told you, sir, the catch is that these devices are being sold and Best Buy sells them, but they are loaded with malware and spyware. These are made in China boxes, of course. Would you still, I guess, give up your privacy if it meant getting free TV and free movies?
Not at all, no.
Okay, then. So in other words, it sounds like a good deal, but when you read the fine print,
Too good to be true.
I'm just asking people, sir, if you could buy a device for a couple $100s that would bring in almost unlimited free TV and movie content, would you buy such a device?
Sure.
Okay. Now, Best Buy sells these kind of devices, but what if I were to told you that what's not being told is that when you buy these devices, they typically come packed with malware and spyware from China that is almost impossible to get rid of from your computer? Would you still buy that box?
No.
Okay, then. Great. Do you have time for a quick question? Okay, then. We're asking people, sir, if you could buy a device, one-time fee, couple $100s, that would give you almost unlimited TV and movie coverage, would you buy such a device?
I would, but I'm pretty skeptical on that. So.
Well, you know what? You're right to be skeptical, because here's the catch. Most of these devices come equipped with malware and spyware from China that infect your computer, and they're almost impossible to get rid of. So would you still buy it then?
No.
Okay.
Because nothing's really free unless there's a catch to it.
Indeed.
So I've been through those, so
okay.
I know that.
Guys, I'm just asking people here today, if you could buy a box for like $200-300 that would give you almost unlimited free TV and movies on your TV, would you purchase such a thing?
For a month? For
a one-time fee, sir.
200? Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, you would do that?
Yeah,
you would do that?
Because like, you know, a lot of like Rogers and stuff, they're now these days kind of overpricing it. So I believe like a box like this is a good long-time investment.
It does sound like a good deal, and they sell these devices here at this Best Buy.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing, sir. What's not being told is that when you buy these boxes, they're typically loaded with made in China spyware and malware that's almost impossible to get rid of from your system. Would you still buy the box then, sir?
I believe I still would, but it's kind of scary to know.
Depends what they can do with the information, I guess.
Okay then. And that is the big question, sir. You're right. I mean, what if they're accessing your credit card data, your medical history, things like that? Would you still buy it then?
No.
No.
Okay. Oh no, I think I know a box, like it was here. It's called the Huida was.
Okay.
Was it?
Yeah. I heard about that one.
It was called that, and then like I heard a lot of problems happen, especially like with spyware and a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah. So maybe when a deal's too good to be true, it probably is then. Okay.
So
then.
I'm telling the people, like the fanbase, to watch out for that type of box.
Indeed.
Watch out for the Huida was too.
Okay then.
What's the Chinese one called?
There's various brand names, but they basically they're sold on the proviso that you hook it up one time. It violates, by the way, copyright.
Yeah.
But
a lot of illegal stuff too on it. Yeah.
100%. But what consumers aren't being told is the fact that there's all this malevolent software that you're bringing into your house. Yeah. So once you know that, probably not such a good deal after all.
Yeah, not a good idea.
Not even close?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you have it, folks. It was pretty much unanimous, wasn't it? At first, people think it's practically the deal of the century to pay a few $100s and get a device that brings in almost unlimited TV and movie content to your living room. But when told of the catch, namely all that made in China spyware and malware, doesn't sound like such a good deal after all. And when consumers were informed of that, unanimously they said no deal. So it just goes to show, always read the fine print, and when you make a deal with the devil, well, it doesn't always come out that nicely. And of course, if it looks too good to be true, well, you know how that saying works, don't you? For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Unlike the mainstream media, Rebel News doesn't receive a single nickel from the government. No, to produce our brand of independent journalism, we depend on you, our supporters, for donations. So if you can, please go to rebelnews.com/donate and make a donation so we can continue to bring you the other side of the story.